Hello everyone, in this video, I am going to show you guys how to create a 3D text intro in After Effects. Watch this. So this is the intro. I am going to show you guys how to create it in After Effects. Stay tuned. Alright guys, first, let's create a new composition. I am going to name this composition as Scene. I am going to select HDTV 1080p preset, and the duration to 5 seconds. Let's create our background first. Create a new solid layer and name it anything you want. Now add ramp effect to the solid layer we have created. Change the start of ramp color to white, and the end of ramp color to light gray. Now change the ramp shape to radial. Change the second value of start of ramp to 540. End of ramp values to 1656 and 1140. Let's create text layer now. I am using Eurostyle light bold font. I use red color for the text and then white color for stroke. Add stroke value to 5. Now make the text layer into a pre-composition by right-clicking on the text layer and select Pre-compose. I am going to name this composition as Main Text, because this composition is going to be the base for all the 3D effects we are going to make. Now again, pre-comp this main text composition by right-clicking and select Pre-compose. I am going to name it as Main. Like I already mentioned, main text composition will be the base, so we don't want to make any changes to it for now. Now go to the Project tab, and duplicate the last created composition, Main, by pressing Ctrl+D in the keyboard. Name it as Main Glossy. We are gonna add Glossy effect to our text using this composition. Now place the main Glossy. Now place the main Glossy composition above the main composition. Open the main Glossy composition. Add the effect Fill. Change the color to white. Now add the effect Simple Choker. Change the choke map value to 7. Now add the effect Linear Wipe. Change the transition completion value to 53, and change the feather value to 800. Change the wipe angle to 0. Now use Pen tool to create a mask like I am doing. You can create the points just by left-clicking.
If you want to undo a point, just press Ctrl+Z in the keyboard.
This is the part of text where the glossy effect will appear. Now move the scrubber down to the end in timeline. Open the mask layer by clicking the arrow under the main text composition. Now set a keyframe there by selecting the stopwatch beside mask path. Now move the scrub back to the beginning of the timeline. Select the mask layer and move it backwards slightly. As you can see, now we have the glossy effect slowly moving on the text. If you think the effect is too bright, then you can reduce it using the opacity by pressing T. Now you can reduce the brightness as much as you want. Now we have a nice glossy effect over the text. Now enable 3D option for main glossy and main composition. In case if the background becomes dark like this, just select active view. Now select main glossy and main composition, then right-click, go to transform and rotation. Selection rotation value to -85. Go to the Project tab and duplicate the main composition by pressing Ctrl+D on the keyboard. Now rename the duplicated layer as main EXT. We are gonna create the 3D layers using this composition. Drag the main EXT composition into the scene composition and place it above the background. Make sure you enable the 3D option. Now rotate this composition by setting the X value to -85 just like we have done to the other two compositions. Open the main EXT composition. Add the effect fill on the main text. Change the color to light gray. Now add the effect fast blur and change the blurriness to 2. Now add the effect bevel alpha. Change the edge thickness to 0.50, light angle to 180 and light intensity to 1. Now go back to the Scene 1 composition. Duplicate the main EXT comp by pressing Ctrl+D. Select both main EXT comp and open the position option by pressing shortcut P. Now change the first main EXT comp Y position to 541 and the second main EXT comp Y position to 542. Now select both these compositions again and duplicate it. Push down the duplicated composition layers and change the position Y value of the first duplicated composition to 543. You can notice that the second duplicated composition's position Y value has been changed by one extra value automatically. Now select the 4 main EXT composition layers again and duplicate it. Push down the duplicated and change the position Y value of the first duplicated composition to 545. Repeat the same steps until you duplicated about 40 to 50 main EXT composition layers. Just make sure there is a gap of 1 value between each duplicated main EXT layers. Now I have duplicated more than 45 main EXT composition layers to get this extrusion length. You can add a camera now to check. Now we can add some nice drop shadow for the text. Duplicate the last main EXT composition and rename the composition as main EXT shadow. Add the effect fill and change the color to black. Now add the fast blur effect and change the blurriness to 20. As you can see now we have a nice looking shadow below the text. Make sure you have changed the main EXT shadow by adding one more value to the Y-axis. Now let us play around with the camera settings to create the text display animation like you seen in the preview at the beginning of this tutorial. Now go to Camera's Transform settings. Change the point of interest and position settings like mine. I will create another separate tutorial about 3D camera techniques in After Effects with explanation, so for now just follow my settings. You can change the preview setting to lower, like half or quarter, if the preview is too slow. Once you copied my camera settings of point of interest and position, make sure the scrubber is in the beginning of the timeline because we are going to place a keyframe for this text position here. Click the stopwatch beside position and point of interest to set a keyframe here. Now move the scrubber down to the timeline end. You can copy my camera settings or you can also play around with the settings to your liking. but this is the camera settings that I used in the first 5-second scene in the preview I showed. As you can see, now the camera moves slowly to give this nice animation look to our scene 1. So that's all for the scene 1 camera settings. Now I am going to show you guys how to create this blur effect at the side to show the depth of field. This is optional, you can ignore it if you don't want. First you have to create a new composition. I am going to name it DOF. Now open the DOF composition. Create a new white solid layer inside the comp. Now add fast blur effect and set the blurriness to about 500. Now use the rotation tool to rotate the layer like I am doing now. Push the solid layer to the top left corner like I am doing. Now duplicate this solid layer and place it to the bottom right to make the two layers parallel to each other. These two layers will give that blur effect to our scene. But we are not done yet. Now go back to the main scene layer and drop the DOF composition inside the scene 1. Now toggle the DOF layer visibility off. Create another solid layer. Now make sure you toggle the adjustment layer option on in the solid layer we created. Add the effect camera lens blur to the solid layer. Change the blur radius to 10. Set the blur map layer to DOF composition. Change the placement option to stretch map to fit. And turn on the repeat edge pixels. I think it is too much blurred on the right side. Let's adjust the solid layers inside the DOF composition again. Let's check the result. I think it looks good now. There is one more additional effect I have used in the preview, which is Vignette effect. Let's create a new solid layer and I name it Vignette. Set the color to black. Now change the layer opacity to 20. Now we are going to create layer mask using the pen tool. Select pen tool, create a layer mask like I am doing by placing points using pen tool. Now open the mask option. Toggle on the inverted. Now change the feather value to about 250. So this is it, guys. These are the effects that I basically used in the preview for the scene 1. Of course this setting is just for the first 5-second scene I showed in the preview. I'll let you guys to use your creativity to play around with the settings to get different results. If you have any questions or doubts regarding this tutorial, leave it in the comment section. So thank you very much guys for watching this very first tutorial of mine on After Effects. I will create more tutorials in the future about using basic and advanced tools and techniques in After Effects and Photoshop. Hit the like button if you found this tutorial as useful one, and make sure you have subscribed my channel and turn on the bell icon to get more tutorial updates in the future. Have a nice day.